Good morning again, all you YouTubers out there. This is Edward coming to you from the Golden Palace Swimming Pool in Mindanao, Philippines. This morning we have a honored guest here and the queen and the boss of this swimming pool, Golden Palace, Lelibeth, Queen Lelibeth. And hon, today let's just tell everyone, so if they're interested, about the IVF process, which is in vitro fertilization, and that's how we receive our son, John, or not John, but Leonardo. Yeah. So when did we start the process? Actually, we started in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Because we were there for 2 years after we had married. And so I got visa for Lelibeth and a green card and everything. Got her over there after a year of paperwork with customs. And then we moved there to my house there in Las Vegas Valley. And then what did we do? We went to, I forget the name of the in vitro place there.
Shapiro.
Dr. Shapiro was the doctor, yeah. But
He's strict doctor.
well, yeah, I don't think he was. I actually think he wasn't strict. The only thing he's strict on is trying to get your money. Yeah, because you know, you have to go so many different visits for all kinds of requirements, all your blood work for both myself and Lelibeth, and so many clearances they test for before they even start the process. So we probably went there, I don't know, a dozen or more times over a period of what, 8 months or so? Something like that, back and forth.
I understand him why they want us to get that kind of a report about about our body, because if you're a woman, should be her body should prepare ready. I mean, not prepare, ready for receiving the embryo in the womb. So if your body is not really able to accept the embryo, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's wasting of your money and wasting of your time. That's why what they did is go mini test, so that it's fair for you also, that if you are able to be pregnant, because if not, then they're going to tell you. So it's not waste of time to you and waste of money.
Right.
You're gonna waste something, but not all of it.
Yeah.
Like,
and they even go, I mean, they're very thorough, I agree with that, but it was very expensive, all the little lab work and everything we had to do. Then Lelibeth, actually, you even had one procedure, right, hon?
Where, in US?
Yes, which was, they check out the uterus very well, and you know, first with the scope, check out the whole lining of the uterus, and if there's any polyps or any kind of abnormalities, anything, that they have to remove that, because they say that will possibly prohibit the embryos from growing. So you had one tiny polyp, was not cancerous.
No.
So you had a small procedure. It took like less than an hour.
Yeah.
Just a few minutes, just to remove that polyp.
Yep.
Then once it's removed, you have to wait a couple more months, let it all heal right and all that stuff. But even before that, right, because you had a car accident that was so serious, you were a passenger in a car, for the viewers that don't know.
Two accidents when I was 9 years old and 27 years old.
But the first one when you were 9, when you were hit by a car walking as a pedestrian, that didn't really affect a possibility of having a child when you're an adult. But the second accident, what age were you at that time? when you were a passenger.
27.
27 years old, passenger in a car, many internal bleeding injuries, in a coma for 2 weeks or so, and did an operation, had to remove all your interior intestines, everything, clean you up inside and repair the bleeding, then put you back together. Which gave you what? What kind of scarring did that give you? Gave you a huge long scar, like 16 inch.
From my lower to my chest, from here going to
Belly button.
until the belly button, my bikini area.
Yes.
Right there. So even I'm trying to be thin so that I can wear two-piece, it's useless because I cannot, because of that big scars.
Yes.
So I need to stay fat like this.
You're not fat, hon. And so, yeah, and it's Philippines. I mean, the doctor did a great job of saving your life, obviously, and I know God had a big part of that to saving your life when that happened. But
Minimize your scars.
But yeah, minimizing the scars. No plastic surgery was done, so the scar is very pronounced and very ugly looking, really. Yeah, so they didn't care about that. They just cared about saving her life, and she's never had any, you know, plastic surgery or anything, because they're, you know, that's all very expensive stuff. And as it was, that kind of a operation on you to save your life was close to 1 million pesos.
Yeah, he's, well, the person who helping me of that, he's really a good person, and I hope God really help him to recover, to get that back.
Yeah, that, well, you're talking about your boyfriend that you had at the time.
Yeah, helping me to save my life.
Yeah.
Because, well, God chose him to be instrument in saving my life, spend money for me.
Yes.
I'm so grateful of it, the rest of my life.
Yes, I met him actually, and we gave him some gift of compensation even back. Not the full amount, but a big chunk of what he used to save Lelibeth's life after I had married Lelibeth, and because I really wanted to meet this man. He's a good Christian man, and he spent his entire family's life savings to save Lelibeth's life at that time, and I mean, that's a huge sacrifice that he made for Lelibeth. Anyway, continuing on the IVF story. Okay, so because of that terrible operation you had, you were afraid maybe you couldn't have children.
When I was in the hospital, I told my doctor that during the time that he's gonna release me, right, in that day, then I asked him, "Doctor, can I still have a child?" Then he said, "Oh, don't you worry, Lelibeth. You can have many child if whatever you want." So he said, "Don't worry, we never touch anything of your uterus." Then I said, "Oh, okay." But because of I don't know really the reaction of any development of my body after my surgery, so I'm still have a doubt of if I can still be pregnant or not.
Yeah.
But only one thing that I can find if I'm still able to be pregnant is check up, and that's what my doctor in Cebu, Dr. Tan.
Dr. Tan.
She's very beautiful and nice doctor.
Yes, and what was the name of her clinic? Repro Optima.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think they have a new building clinic right now. Whoever wants to be pregnant in IVF, visit that clinic.
Yes,
So nice.
And we had found, I had found the clinic online when we decided to.
Yeah, when we are in US.
Yeah, when we started to, because we were, like I say at the beginning of the story, 8 months or so going to Dr. Shapiro Clinic in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the US, and they had told us not the truth about what the costs were starting the actual process. So we went through all the preliminary things that we needed to do. And then besides that, when it came time to start the actual process of harvesting the eggs, they told us a big falsehood is what the price was going to be. Yeah, they were telling us around $20,000, and it was over double that.
Yes.
Is what they were saying it was going to cost us, US $20,000, but it ended up being over $40,000 it would have been. And plus we'd already spent a bunch for the preliminary costs.
Right.
So we said, no, this ain't for us. That's unacceptable. So actually, I searched online and found Dr. Tan's clinic in Cebu because that's the closest to our construction here on the house in Mindanao. So we chose that. And then after our first visit, I found online a foreigner in the Philippines, Beth and Terrence. They actually visited there and were going to try to have a child at one time there with Dr. Tan's help, but I don't know the details of why they quit the process, but that's up, that's their personal. But it was neat to see their photo at their clinic, and then we went there and actually had a great success. But okay, so we went first time to Cebu. And also you have to go to some preliminary there. There was a problem with some x-rays that one of your fallopian tubes maybe was in a risk of being blocked or something. Mm-hmm. So we had to take...
It's so weird, right?
Yeah, so we had to do exams and further specialized x-rays to make sure that that was not the case. And it was not the case, so we were cleared of that part of it. Mm-hmm. And then it was my turn, right? I had to go, I had an operation where I had to have sperm extracted from my testicles. And so they put me under and get out the needle and extract right out of the testicles. So when I woke up, the doctor... I forget what his name was.
Yeah, the doctor.
Different doctor that went to Repro and did the procedure there. Mm-hmm. So
he's a man.
Yes.
And after he did the job to you, he go to me and said, "Oh, Mom, it's success, and you can have mini child, whatever you want, because he has a lot of sperm and it's very healthy." And I said, "Oh, how I wish I can have mini, right?" If not, that's expensive, but it's normal. Oh, doing IVF is like it's like a gambling that you have to bet that. Don't give full expectation of it. Just have faith, faith to God and to yourself that it's gonna be success, because they said it's only 30%. 30, right?
30% chance.
Yeah, chance of that. But after I got my first procedure, my first transfer, and it's failed. And you know how? Oh my God, I'm very sad of it, and I feel like I'm very failure woman in this earth. Yeah. But
well, you're kind of skipping way ahead, but yeah. First, she had to go through a procedure that they harvested all your eggs, and you had like 30 some eggs, or right around 30 eggs that were harvested from you.
Oh yeah.
Then out of those 30 eggs, they examine them all, and they pick only the most healthy that can receive the sperm in the lab, and they try to inject the sperm. So it went down to from 30 like to 10 or 15 that they tried to put the sperm in, but out of those, only 4 sperm-injected eggs survived and grew into healthy embryos. So from almost 30 eggs or so, went all the way down to 4 embryos, of which they once they get those embryos, they freeze them almost every time, because the highest success is freezing the embryos. Then, like, how many months later did we go back and try the first insertion of the embryo
1 month.
into your uterus?
1 month.
Yeah, minimum is 1 month that you can wait after they're frozen. That's the shortest period of time. So that's what we did. A little over a month later, we went back to the clinic, and Lelibeth had 1 of the 4 eggs inserted. And like you said, that was a failure, right? And so she was very upset.
I'm sorry if I tell you that earlier, because I'm just being excited to share it.
Yes.
So that some woman out there is that watching our channel it's one of the inspiration to do that, what we did, right?
Yes.
To try it.
So instead of becoming discouraged, we knew we had 3 more embryo. So then what did we do? How many months later?
We did that first one is, I can't remember.
Okay, so it was like 6 or 8 months later, actually, because we had so many construction and so many obligations here, that 6 or 8 months later, which would be January of 2020, is when we decided to go back to the clinic in Cebu.
For Leonardo?
To have 2 more. We went with 2 this time.
That is December. First one. Then we come back, then back again January.
And what happened?
I remember I said, oh hon, it's Sinulog, it's something new, something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
The big fertility parade they have there in January.
Yes, and I said to you, oh, maybe it's a lucky for the second embryo that we're gonna do, because it's a timing for Santo Niño celebration that we're here. So yeah, like that. Then we did that January. Then end of January 28, the second transfer to my womb. The 2
2020.
2020, yes. The 2 embryo that they insert to me.
Yes.
January 28.
Okay.
Then after that, the transfer, we wait 1 week.
2 weeks.
1 week, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
For the test,
if the embryo survive, yes.
Grow and it's really hold there tight.
Yes.
And when we come back, then the nurses there took the numbers of how high.
A blood test.
Then when they got the result that it's very high.
Yes.
They cry more than to me. You know why? I feel them and I understand why, because they saw me how I work so hard of how many tests, diet, everything that I need to face.
Injections, everything.
And injections to my all you have to do is just be strong.
So the blood test revealed, because of I forget what the chemical is in the blood that says that you're pregnant. But yeah, it says if it's over 30 or 40 or something like that in the test, then that means you're pregnant. And ours was, or Lelibeth's chemical amount was like 2,500. It was just crazy positive number. So it was like very strong pregnancy starting already. Yes. And but we didn't know at that time, is it one child living or 2 child living?
Because I have to come back. The nurse said, Mom, you have to come back 1 week to see Dr. Tan of that. Because doctor that time, he's out of town. So I have to wait 1 week. Then when I come back to her, he said, oh, Lelibeth, you are pregnant. That's just only 1 survived. But 1 survived, it's a big deal to me. My God.
Yes, yes.
And I said, oh, okay. That's so very blessing. It's a bless.
Big time.
Because, I failed once. And the first time that I failed, I broke. My heart so broke. Because you know how many tests, many diet, running, for my, you know, radio.
Radio?
No, my, how you call that?
I don't know. Cardio?
Cardio.
So then we completed, we knew you were pregnant, so that was awesome. It was wonderful. And we were so happy and excited. So then we came back to Mindanao, and just from there, we just did everything we possibly could. And with IVF process, they make you take injection. Was it every day, or was it?
And before that, we decided to go back in Mindanao, February, right? And that's the time that the COVID.
Yeah, COVID happened. So it was perfect.
Allowed to travel. It's not allowed.
Yeah, so we escaped.
Because I'm just pregnant, right?
Yeah, we actually was so happy to escape there before the lockdown started in early March, like March 15 or March 20, right in that area.
It's a force for us to travel. No, we back here end of February. Then the lockdown is March.
So anyways, yeah, we escaped there just in the nick of time. So then you have to go through, like I say, you have to go through injections every single day, self-administered. I did some of the injections. Was it in your stomach?
Yeah, in my stomach.
So in the fatty tissue of the stomach, that's part of the procedure, and I was so against it. But after the first trimester, that all ends.
Yeah.
So anyways, this video is getting way too long, so we need to stop it now. And we thank you so much. Hopefully you learned some about this. And I'm going to try to do editing to try to insert some photos of Lelibeth pregnancy and some of the procedures that we went through at the clinic and stuff. And hopefully I'll attempt to do that. So. All right, well, take care, and we might visit this subject another time, but this video is already way too long. But we thank you so much, and take care. God bless.
Bye-bye.